right now, he's actually going to mention this clip in this video here of him destroying a black conservative on violent crime in Chicago and why we're not seeing protests in Chicago against the violent crime. Take a look. I don't know what you're saying. Philip, let me help you out with something. Let me just help you out with something, Philip. No, because you need some help right now, Philip. You need some help real bad. If I said I have never ever seen Philip in a red tie, and if somebody says, Roland, have you ever met Philip? No. Have you ever seen Philip on TV? No. Have you ever seen Philip at an event? No. Well, hell, if you ain't never seen Philip, of course you ain't never seen Philip in a red tie. So how can you say people are not protesting black on black violence in Chicago, but they are, but oh, you haven't seen it, and you made no attempt to find out it exists. Well, let me ask you this question. And this is a second, I want you to answer that one too first. Why are you so worried about Chicago and you ain't focused on crime in Indianapolis? Yeah, so Roland Martin thinks that's a gotcha. Right? He thinks he owned that guy, okay? Because that guy ain't never been to Chicago, so he don't know if there are protests in Chicago against the black on black crime. But see, Roland Martin has been disingenuous because we all know what that man is talking about when he says he hasn't seen protests in Chicago in regards to black on black crime. What he means is that we haven't seen BLM style protests riots. We haven't seen people literally storming in the streets, okay, creating the protests and the riots that they did in response to Derek Chauvin and the George Floyd situation. We have not seen those style protests in Chicago against black on black crime. We haven't seen it, right? We haven't seen it. Oh yeah, there might be some community organizers that are having some small events or whatever. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. Clearly that's happening. We know for a fact that's happening, right? But again, where are the BLM level style protests against black on black crime in Chicago? They're nowhere to be found, right? They're nowhere to be found. And what the level of violence that is happening in that city, we should be seeing them every single day, every single weekend, right? But we're not. We're not. I'm just saying. Again, this guy is disingenuous. But let's just go ahead and get into this clip because this is probably a really long video because that's a whole lot to break down here. So without further ado, let's get it.
27 out of top 30 cities in American crime ran by Democrats. Why?
I will tell you. So first of all, it's where African Americans are living. So let's bring up Chicago in particular. What you have had in Chicago is you've had some of the greatest racial segregation, not in 20 years, not in 30 years, but literally in 100 plus years.
Led by Democrats.
No, it's a deal though. Okay, I will show you. Mississippi has the largest percentage of black people in America, run by Republicans, broke as hell. Explain that. Explain me the highest. Tell me when you have what? No, hold on. Wait.
Don't spin. No, don't. Let's stay on topic.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Let's stay on topic. The topic is crime 27 out of 30, not economic. Economic's a different story.
No, it's not.
But I agree with you that we need to get the financial situation.
No. And you're making a mistake.
Mississippi. No, you're making the
Here's the mistake you're making.
27 out of 30.
Here's the mistake you're making. When you say crime, I just obliterated a black conservative on my show on this whole issue. When you say crime, you have to then say, okay, what creates crime? No, what creates crime? What creates crime?
When people are not doing well financially.
What else?
Your surrounding environment, who you're around.
And what else?
Pick up habits.
What else?
Bad policies.
No. Well, see, you're doing the policies.
It's bad.
Wait a minute.
If I run a company and I'm the CEO of the company, if the company improves or doesn't improve, it's based on my policies. I'm the head running the company, the department. If it doesn't improve, it's because of me.
So let me get laid out so you get go for it. When you talk about what is the underpinning of crime, John O'Brien, founded Operation Hope. This is what he said.
All right, I'm gonna tell you guys where he's going with this because obviously he's going with this. He's going with poverty, right? He's trying to say that poverty is the reason why
all that crime exists, right? There's not enough economic opportunity for black folks because of systemic racism, right? In the man, the system, the white man. Okay, that's what he's going to get at here.
He said, show me a community where you've seen a riot with a credit score 700 or higher. The reality is, when you talk about crime in this country, you're talking about economics, you're talking about education, you're talking about housing, you're talking about health. Show me areas where you do not have high crime. I'm going to show you areas that don't have the same, aren't as compact as first.
Now, to address his argument on the correlation between poverty and crime, well, there's some studies that do indicate that there's some correlation, but they're wildly inconsistent. In fact, there are other studies, like a study done by Columbia University, that show, for example, when you study poverty among Asians in New York City, the crime rate is quite low, even though the poverty rate is high. Okay, it's like over 20%, but the crime rate is low. Right. So again, explain that. If poverty is what leads to crime, then we should see crime in every neighborhood that is impoverished. But that's not true, because most crimes are not committed out of economic necessity. They're committed out of personal issues, okay, arguments, things that don't necessarily have to do with economic necessity. But again, people like Roland Martin, whose job is to lead people or relieve people of responsibility and accountability. No, it's not your fault. It's because you're poor, right? It's the white man, it's the system, it's everybody else except you, right? That's this guy's business, okay?
What you have is, when you talk about crime in places, you then look at what are the numbers of people there, what are the pockets there, what are those communities, and how did those communities, how were they created literally not over 20, 30 years, but literally over 50, 75, 100 years. Now, that was Jim Crow.
How many years does it take to change?
What are you talking about?
How many years does it take to
Okay,
change?
when you have,
How long does it
no,
take to change?
when you, first of all, you're talking about a black in America.
How long does
When
it
you,
take?
when you have had,
Yeah.
okay, walk through 243 years of slavery, 92 years of Jim Crow, and then you get to 1970 when you are technically fully free. You can't act like all of that before did not impact. The issue that you're having now have to do with not Democratic or Republican policies. It has to do with literally white supremacy and Jim Crow in America. We are still, to act as if we are still not dealing with that.
It's the white man's fault. Again, notice how this guy doesn't address the actual question. Explain how 27 out of the top 30 cities in America, right, the most violent cities in America, they're run by Democrats. Right? That's the question. This guy takes that question and he spins it into some conversation about white supremacy and Jim Crow. Right? He won't answer the question about Chicago. Right? He won't answer the question. Again, it's ridiculous. Again, this guy's supposed to be some type of genius debater. Right? He's supposed to be unstoppable, undefeated. Okay.
No, my parents didn't go to college.
How are you rich now? How are you rich?
Because he started his own business, right? Race hustling, right? Race hustling. That's why, right? Again, he wasn't necessarily playing victim. I mean, he plays victim for money, but he's not been a victim himself, right? In regards to how he got paid.
Because first and foremost, the neighborhood that I grew up in it was one of the first master plan communities by the hood. What you had in my neighborhood was you had folks, first of all, I had mom and dad, one, who also married, who also, oh yeah, they're still married for 6 years, who absolutely believe in education. Now, what I recognize is, so for me, in my household, what my parents emphasized, never went to college. Then my brother went to Texas A&M. I went to Texas A&M. My sister went to Texas A&M. And so that was our house. What I recognize is that somebody who is next door or across the street, around the corner, did not have the situation that I had.
Wait, so again, you're admitting that a nuclear family, right, a two-parent household, a loving mom and dad, even if they didn't necessarily go to college, but just a strong foundation, is the key to getting yourself out of poverty, right? That you don't need the government and all this other stuff. It's not necessarily about being born in poverty. It's about having a strong foundation. That's what you're admitting, right? Because that's what worked for him. All right, so we got to skip forward here, and I'm skipping around the video because this video is super long, and I just want to hit the key points. I'm going to put a link in the description to the full video, the full interview, if you guys want to watch it. But this is the part there where they start getting into systemic racism, specifically when it comes to appraisals on houses for black families.
See, you're describing a micro level. There's always, you can always have that singular individual or this person or that person or this family. That's micro. What I'm talking about is macro issues. And what I'm saying is, when I look at communities, that's not micro, that's macro. Even within the African American community, when you dealt with Jim Crow, you couldn't live anywhere else. You literally could not live anywhere else. Bottom line is, if you were black and had money, and then you were black and broke, you were literally living in the same neighborhood. After Jim Crow ends with integration, what then happened? Those African Americans who were middle class, upper middle class, began to move away. What then began to happen was you had areas where poverty increased even more so.
Why
As a result.
Sergeant, take command! Because if you care about the community, why not stay there and change it?
Well, first of all, does anybody else move?
What do you mean?
Who the hell else don't move? Well, how do you think suburbs were created?
Wait a minute.
What do you think? I think white flight was created.
But
So everybody else get moved, but we can't move.
But if you act like you care about the community,
No, guess what?
Stay there.
No, I'm asking you a question. You know why? Because when African Americans were living in black neighborhoods, they also had economically depressed housing values, and the reality is they were not able to make them.
I'll change.
Are you serious?
I am.
You hear that? He said, help yourself there. Are you serious? Help myself. Pull myself up. Oh my God. You can ask me to take accountability for the whole situation.
Something with Palmdale.
It was really drug testing. Seriously, do you even know today? We've done the stories in Florida when somebody's black accepted at a house. Appraisers will come in and literally give them a value of $100,000 to $300,000 less because they're black. You know that actually happened, right?
It's really that simple. You have a solution. There's not one appraiser in the world, bro.
The New York Times literally just talking about systemic racism that exists in all races.
Okay, so allegedly, okay, I've done stories like this before too. Allegedly, there's a couple people allegedly that, you know, when they appraise houses from, you know, black families or whatever, they tend to appraise them at a lower value. Okay, that happens, right? Again, you can find another appraiser. It's not just one appraiser in the world. I'm pretty sure that there'll be at least a few of them that will give you market value for your house or appraise it at the proper value. But again, when you're a victim, you focus on just one person. Say, this person wronged me, instead of moving on with your life and doing what you need to do.
I'm trying to see, you're living in a different reality.
What progress are you making by saying that?
None. He doesn't want to make any progress. Right? He doesn't want to tell anybody, hey man, just find another appraiser. No, that's too easy. You got to tell them to boo-hoo, whine, and cry about it and say, this is an example of systemic racism, and this is why the white man is holding black folk back.
Progress.
So what you're
I'm trying to end that.
Okay,
Do you know how inherent? Okay, hold on. You said you're Middle Eastern, right?
you're trying to.
Hold on. You said you're Middle Eastern, right?
Yes.
How would you feel? How would you feel?
Yes.
If you're selling your home, and you got a home that you know,
Right.
you put upgrades in it, and you know your home is worth $500,000.
Yes.
And somebody comes into your home, and they see your photos,
Right.
and they see your family, and then they go back and they go, 350,000. You go, What the hell?
So you tell that story. Tell that story to get people to
No,
convince
no,
that
no,
that's
no.
happening.
It's
Out of
actually
1,000 appraisals,
Oh
out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen? Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen?
You want to pull that up?
Tell me,
You want to pull that
that's
up?
your world, though. Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen? Let's just say it
It
happens.
is a significant issue in America.
Oh my God.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I can tell you right now. Again, since we're using anecdotal example.
over, command! Follow me! Kill them all! Victory! On my command! Charge! More sergeants! On my flank! Charge!